I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Success is Making Progress. Well, I've got an email here from a guy he's passionate about videography, filmmaking, and animation. His problem that he says, or what he believes his problem is that he has a hard time making decisions and following through on the decisions that he makes. And the reason why anybody that's watching this doesn't have the people or the circumstances in their life that they want is a story that they tell themselves about why they don't have it. And this guy obviously is going to be no exception, which you'll see from his email when I go through it. And for us human beings, it's not so much achieving the goal or becoming successful or having $1 million in the bank or getting the dream house or getting the dream girl or the dream guy into your life. Success really, because think about it, you guys that go to the moon, it's like, and you come back to Earth, it's like, how do you top that? What do you do when you're one of the few or first people to ever walk on the moon and then you come back to planet Earth? You go to Mars after that? It's like, that's one of the things that the astronauts struggled with when they came back from the moon. It's like, how do you fucking top that? Or you get a professional athlete that is the best in the world. Everybody wants to talk to him. Everyone wants his opinion. But then when his career is over and he no longer physically can compete at that high level, crickets. He may have money in the bank still, but it's like, what does he do with his life? What does he do with his life after he no longer plays the game that he loves so much? You see a lot of guys that love the game. They go into sportscasting or broadcasting because they still have a passion for it. Some of them go into coaching. The idea is by being involved in something that you love and you have a passion for, you're going to work harder at that than anything else. And the harder you work at something that you love, the more you're going to develop skills, techniques, strategies, and talents. And therefore, the more skills you have, and the more talent you have, and the more ability that you have to do something you love, the more valuable you will be. In other words, the more value you can add to your own business or to your clients or the clients of the company that you work for. And being compensated is all about it's proportional to the value that you add to people's lives. It's like my business. My business offers a lot of value and adds a lot of value to people's lives before they ever spend a dime with me. So they know that it works. And then one of the reasons why I charge what I charge for my coaching rates is because of the value that I add. People are willing to pay it because they're getting the value in return. I demonstrate the value that I have to offer through my videos, my articles, and even letting people read my book for free on my website so they can see that I actually know what I'm talking about. I get people to follow me for a year or two before they ever buy the book or book a phone session or do email coaching with me. So don't focus on becoming a success. Focus instead on becoming a person of value. Because like you win the Super Bowl or the NBA championship or the soccer championship or the World Cup, whatever it happens to be, it's like after the media's gone, yeah, you got this nice shiny trophy, but it's like, then what? What if you waited your whole life to get a Super Bowl ring and then you finally get a Super Bowl ring and then you're like, is that it? Is that all there is? So the idea is that as a human being, it's not so much achieving the goal or accomplishing or obtaining what you're looking for that makes you happy. It's progress. It's making progress towards becoming or obtaining what you want that actually makes you happy and makes you enjoy the journey. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then we're going to go through this guy's email because this is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's taking action and knowing when to take action and also knowing when to continue researching. And so the quote says, being successful and happy is a direct result of making progress towards achieving your goals and dreams and creating the life and lifestyle you've always wanted. Most people mistakenly assume that they will be happy only once they achieve their goals, dreams, and acquire the material things they desire. Most big goals and dreams often take a decade or more of your life to achieve. However, we live in a society that is obsessed with instant gratification and a quick fix. Most people give up on their grandest goals and dreams and instead settle for a life of mediocrity because they do not sense, see, or feel like they are making any real progress. Settling for a life that is less than what you really want happens when you substitute mediocre goals and dreams because they offer you more of an instant gratification and sense of quicker progress. However, instant gratification is fleeting and cannot sustain or fulfill you for a lifetime like becoming all that you are capable of becoming and reaching your full potential can. Everything worth having and becoming in life is always going to come with more hard work, financial expense, and time than you expect. The dichotomy is that human beings always appreciate and value that which comes through challenge, difficulty, struggle, hardship, heartache, and disappointment more than that which comes easily. We always tend to appreciate what we had to work hard for, and what's just handed to us, we don't value it as much. It's just the way we are. That's the way we're wired. And therefore, when you have something that you spend a decade or more striving to achieve, it's like the business that I have now. I started this business 10 years ago. A decade ago, I decided that I was going to get out of being in the real estate mortgage and construction industry full time and focus 100% on becoming a life coach. I didn't know how I was going to get to where I am now. The things that make my business a success, they didn't even exist back then. YouTube wasn't even around back when I started this business. And that's why once you know what it is that you want, you start moving in that direction. You're going to have an idea of how you're going to get there, but ultimately someday what makes that business work or that career work and you to get compensated in a way that you've always dreamed of being compensated, you're going to figure it out along the way. And that's why it's so important to take action and move consistently towards the things that you want in life. So let's go through this guy's email and see what it is that he's not doing that he should be doing to help himself get closer to what it is that he wants. Because you're going to see here, towards the end of his email, he's looking at some of the other people in his life and he's looking at the progress that they're making and going, oh, I should be doing that. Or that guy's making all this progress and look at me, I'm just kind of like a dog chasing his tail. And that's what happens. We have these dreams, we have these goals, then we start looking around at other people and go, oh wow, he got this job and he's making a decent income, and oh wow, they settled down and they got married. But the reality is, on a scale of 1 to 10, that person is maybe his job is a 5 or a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. And so 20 years from now, he's still going to be working an average job he's really not crazy about, not really that happy with. And it's going to have a negative impact on his health and his personal life and his relationships and also his kids. And you'll see that. And so when you have everybody that you're going to be surrounded with in life just settling, whether it's settling in their relationships, settling in their friendships or their peer group, settling with the kind of people they go into business with, settling for the kind of company that they work for, settling for the kind of body that's not what they really want and deserve, you're going to be surrounded by people who have settled and are going to try to get you to settle. Because by getting you to settle, they all feel better about the decision that they made to settle and be mediocre in their own life. So it's really hard and it takes a really long time to stay focused on what you want when you're surrounded by a sea of people. The overwhelming majority of people you're going to encounter in your life are not even close and will never reach their full potential. So he says, hey Corey, I just recently discovered your work and like all your fans, I really appreciate it. I've been watching so many videos and wow, keep up the great work and don't stop. Please note your book is still on my to-do list. It's on your fucking to-do list. Dude, if you want to get this part of your life handled, you got to read it 10 to 15 times and get to know it so well you don't have to think about it anymore. That's what people say. I don't have the time. You talk to people like, hey, how come you don't go to the gym? Oh, I don't have the time. Well, like, how come you're not dating? Oh, I don't have the time. Oh, my job sucks. Well, why don't you look for a better job? Oh, I don't have the time. That's the story that people tell themselves. How can you ever have the time if you never take the time? If you're not taking the time, if you're not making it a priority, well, it's not going to be a priority in your life. He says, I'm currently going through Tony Robbins' book and a few others. My question is in regards to life choices and living life. He says, about me, I'm passionate about videography, filmmaking, and animation. Great. If that's what you love and that's what you're really truly passionate about, then you should be making videos and films and doing animation. That's what you should be doing. Whether it's doing it for yourself and uploading it to YouTube or doing it for other people. Even if you have to go to start work. I mean, when I wanted to get in the construction industry, I was still in college at the time. And what I ended up doing was I went down to the career counselor services and I said, hey, are there anybody looking for a construction intern, estimating or whatever it happened to be? And there were 2 or 3 people that were looking. In other words, they were construction companies that wanted free labor in essence. That's what an internship really is. So I talked to, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them, whatever it was, went and met one of them, and they hired me right away. I was like, I was fucking free. I didn't cost them anything. And my thing was, hey, I can work at this company that in essence is what I'll be doing eventually when I graduate, and I'll prove myself. And once I prove myself, they'll want to hire me. And sure enough, after about 30 days of working for them, Hurricane Andrew hit, and we got more work than we knew what to do with. And they're like, hey, we'll start you out at $500 a week plus expenses. I got like 30 cents a mile or 20 cents a mile. I don't even remember what the hell it was. Over 20-something years ago. But I worked for free for 30 days. And after 30 days, I had all this work down in Miami, and I was driving down to Miami all the time. Hour and a half drive each way. But I was in the industry, so I was going to school part-time, finishing my degree, and I was already working, doing estimating and things that I'd be doing once I finally got my degree. So now, I had a company I was working for, and I worked for that company for about a year and a half, and I just didn't like, one of the guys I worked for, one of the partners, he was a dickhead, and I didn't like working for him at all, and he wasn't a lot of fun, and plus it was down in Miami, and I wanted to work for a construction company that specialized in development, because at the time, I was thinking, hey, I think I'd like to get into developing single-family home communities, condos, just being a developer. And so I went to work for a company that was not only a general contractor, but they were also a developer. They built single-family home communities. They did high-end luxury condos. I was like, this is perfect. I can learn all the ins and outs of the business and get paid to learn on their dime. And because I went and started out working for free and got hired because I proved myself, now I had a year and a half of experience. Perfect. I was still in school. And so it took me another year working for them before I finally finished my degree. But that's how I did it. And I used one job to leapfrog to the next. And when I no longer had the same internal enthusiasm for the company I was working for, I went and found another company that could give me some expertise and give me some experience in the kind of projects that I wanted. And then from that, I went to work for Syntex Rooney and worked on a $150 million job. It was a 2-year-long project. 2,000 hotel rooms for Disney World and a 300,000 square foot convention center. And the great thing about working for Disney or working on Disney projects is they use the best materials from all over the world. So you really get exposed to a lot of different things that you normally aren't going to see in the construction industry. So after working for them for a year, at that point, I had 5 years of experience. And all kinds of work, small, medium-sized construction, and large projects. And I had a pretty strong resume. I had recruiters calling me because I was really good at what I did. And when you're really awesome at something you love and you have a passion for, people are going to find out about it. I had recruiters calling me, but I was an entrepreneur at heart. So I borrowed $50,000 on my credit cards and bought 2 foreclosure properties and quit my fucking job, and I went for it. But there was a process that I followed. The point being, as I was working, I was gaining experience. I was learning how to do my thing, and I was getting paid for it. I was developing my skills and my talents and getting paid by somebody else. He says, I've learned so much, and I spent so much time on videography, filmmaking, and animation. For 18 to 22 years, I've lived in a box, endlessly working by myself to get better skills when I should have applied for positions with film companies. Go do that now. Start as an intern. You got to start somewhere. You got to start building a resume. You can study and study what other people do all you want, but if you want to become great at filmmaking, you got to make films. It's that simple. If you want to become the world's greatest bartender, you got to start working at Tending Bar and figuring out how to do it. If you want to become great at building things, go learn how to build. Figure it out. You have to work at what you love to become better, because you got to develop your skills. It's because just studying and learning all this stuff, that's not growing your skills. It's growing your knowledge, but the only way you develop your skills is by working at what you love. He says, during that time, I was obsessed with cult classic fictional movies and video games. I was a weirdo nerd, and my plan was to create a creative film. And so now here's part of his story. I'm going to make this great film someday. Instead of what he should have done was make a 2 or 3 minute film and start with small things. Put them on YouTube, put them on Facebook, put them on Vimeo or Vine, do little Vine things. There's people that have grown millions of followers just by little 5 and 10 second Vine clips. I mean, it's what's so great about technology and the social media is there are platforms that if you make really great high quality stuff, the internet will find your audience for you. And if you have a huge audience, you can sell ads on those things, and you can start making money that way. There's a channel called, if you Google Freddy View, which I think it's now called Rocket Jump. This guy started out, he and his buddy, just making really cool 2 to 3 minute clips on YouTube. And eventually he got millions of followers, and people in Hollywood started noticing. Several famous actors and actresses were like, hey, I really like these cool films that you're doing. I'd like to come and be in one with you. And they volunteered their time just so they could, because it gave them exposure. Because each time the guy posted a video, he was getting a couple million views. And it was great for their career, and it was great for his video channel. Because now he has these high quality, and it just snowballed from there. He had Jon Favreau, when the Harrison Ford movie came out a few years ago, Daniel Craig was in it, Cowboys and Aliens I think it was, actually brought in their production company and spent money to help him produce a really great short clip with all kinds of cool special effects. And that got millions of views, which they sold ads on that and they made even more money. And then they roll it into Video Game High School. They even did their own web-based series. And then they started posting that to Kickstarter because they already had an audience. I think they raised $200,000-$300,000 to do the second season all on Kickstarter. Or one of those type of platforms. But they started out with their Mac just making really cool little videos. Him and his buddy and doing the special effects the best they could. And because they were awesome at it, they got noticed by other people that could help them. And that's what you should be doing, and you're not doing that. He says, however, something snapped and I have changed from being a weirdo nerd to a crazy life junkie. I now hate being inside my house, and I hate video games and fictional movies. Have you seen the 2003 movie Old Boy? Nope, haven't seen it. I can't remember the quote, but it goes something like this. Arts, books, movies, music can be entertainment, but it can also be art. Tell stories and connect to us emotionally. Exactly. If you notice every commercial, it always tries to pull at your emotions. Why? Because if it can pull on your emotions, you'll associate those strong emotions with that product or service. And therefore, people buy based upon emotion, and they use logic and reason to justify their purchase. Same thing with movies. They emotionally draw you in and anchor you to the characters. Because you become emotionally anchored and you relate to those characters, you go out and tell your friends and family, that was a really great movie. I really liked the story. You should go see it. That's how it works. The most important story of all your life, your existence. So stop living in a retarded fantasy fictional world. Live life to the fullest. My goals are now to live life to the fullest. I went traveling to South Africa, volunteering abroad, which was a great eye-opener. I went to Australia to work and travel, but came back home sooner than expected. And he puts in quotes, failure to prepare is to prepare to fail, which happened. So it sounds like you just hopped on a plane and didn't really know what you were going to do. You didn't plan it out. It's like Confucius said, success depends upon prior preparation. Without said preparation, there is sure to be failure. However, before I came back to the UK, I befriended a lot of travel companies. Thanks to you, I would have never gotten the idea. I went straight in the travel offices, asked to speak to the managers, politely talked about them and their company, and showed them my show reel. Some of them were not interested. However, with a few of them, I got into the conversation of being able to produce free promotional videos for them in exchange for free travel tours. That's fucking brilliant. That's the kind of thing you should be doing. You should be making fucking videos. Whether it's for you or somebody else, doesn't fucking matter. Just fucking do it. You keep telling yourself this story about all these things that have to happen in order for you to get to the point where you're making movies. And that's the story you tell yourself. So you don't do anything. You just talk about all the great stuff that you're going to do, but you're not doing it. Make fucking movies. Start it now. Just 2 to 3 minutes long, just like I was talking about with Freddie View. Freddie Wong is his name. You can Google his name. He's like, he's got the perfect model that you should follow. I'm now back in the UK, which is depressing, and I plan to go back to Australia in 8 months or so, I think. Keep in mind, my working Australia visa ends in January of 2016. Plan number 1 for me is to get a shitty job, build a video show reel, and skills on the side, and then go back out there. See what he's doing? I got to continue to improve my reel, and hopefully someday, eventually, somebody will give me a job. Bullshit. Make fucking videos, start a YouTube channel, and start putting the shit out there. Put it on Vimeo. Start doing little vines, 5, 10 second long clips. Doesn't have to be long to go viral. Go look and see all the people that have all the viral clips on Vine where they have millions of followers. And see the type of content that they're producing. And produce similar type of content that you're passionate about. And you can build a business the same way, dude. Being a great filmmaker is, you got to start out. You look at Steven Spielberg, one of the most famous, well-known actors. He had a little camera when he was a kid, and he and his friends started making war movies. They would actually take like a rock and a wooden board, and they would use it as like a teeter-totter. And so one end of the board, the middle would be under the rock, and the other end would be dirt and twigs and all kinds of other things. So as their friends would run through the field and he was filming this, they would step on the board and would throw the dirt and shit up in the air so it looked like explosions. He started making movies when he was a fucking kid. And he still has some of those. You might even be able to see some of them on the internet. But he started making movies because he loved making movies. And he got better and better at it. And eventually he started making them professionally. How many movies have you made and uploaded to YouTube? You got to start an audience somewhere. And the beautiful thing about the internet now is you got all this free technology out there like YouTube and everything else. Do what you know and put it out there. Time and repetition. Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years from now, you can be doing the big kind of movies and stuff that you want. You got to prove yourself. You got to prove that you're good enough to do it. Make the best quality content that you can and put it out there on the web. He says, however, one of my major problems is not being able to make decisions. I fear I'm going to fuck everything up because I can't make decisive plans. Not only that, a part of me is actually starting to hate videography, filmmaking, and animation. I know if I worked within a company and made a financial living, it would be a different story. I'm getting jealous of my friend's job. Yeah, because your friend is making progress and you're not making progress. You're talking about all the great things you're going to do someday. Meanwhile, your friends are actually working and getting paid for things. And so they're making progress while you're talking about all the great things you're going to do someday. But what you should be doing right now is making videos, making animation, the coolest, most interesting stuff that you can come up with. Even if it's 5 or 10 seconds long, or even if it's 30 seconds long. It doesn't matter. Make the best shit that you can make and put it out there. Start building an audience. Quit fucking around. He's an electrician and is in the Army, a real job, something that contributes to society. He has that get out during the day, real hard, work on your feet, then come back, put your feet up, and rest feeling, which is amazing. That's something you can really be proud of. Well, if you were making little movies and uploading it and getting feedback on YouTube or Vine or anywhere else, Facebook, you'd be accomplishing something. You'd be taking action. You're suffering from the paralysis of analysis. He says, in editing and animation, which is office work, you can't get that. See, now you're starting to give up on your dreams and say, oh, well, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. It really sucks what I'm into. And this is what you're telling yourself. You're actually starting to sabotage your success. You're not taking any action, and now you're coming up with reasons to compare the success that other people are getting to your own life as further justification to do nothing. Look at your story that you're telling yourself and how it's causing you to do nothing. And now you're actually starting to give up on your dreams because you're not even fucking trying. If you're a freelancer, then it's 10 times worse. Your office is your home and it drives you insane. When filming amazing events, acts, performers, I feel pathetic as my job is just to observe and record. A part of me doesn't want to be the observer, but the actual participant in great acts. Then act, it's one of the things that Freddie Wong does. He's some of his videos he's in, or a lot of his videos he's in. He does the editing, he's also the director, and he's also one of the actors in it. do what you love. He says, I feel like I'm not contributing to society. That's because you're not making anything. You're not producing any content. You're just talking about all the great content that you're going to produce someday. The road to someday leads to a town called nowhere. He says, I'm the kind of person who can push myself to the limit. I can get on with it with the right advice and coaching. Well, like I said, what you need to do is take action. You need to start making video, even if it's just 20 seconds long. Every week you need to produce a new piece of content. Start a YouTube channel, start out 1 day a week, and upload it. Come hell or high water, upload a new video clip every week. And the more clips that you can upload on a consistent basis, the quicker your audience will grow. And what's great about that is you'll get feedback when you produce stuff. And people, hey, you should do this, you should do that. Oh, it'll be really cool if you could do something like this. And they'll give you suggestions, and they'll also give you honest feedback about what they like and what they don't like. And you can continue to refine your approach and give the kind of content to your audience that you want. And once your audience is big enough, Hollywood and everybody else is going to be banging and beating down your door wanting to hire you. But how can they know about you if you're not doing great things, if you're not showing people what you're capable of? Come on, man. 1 video per week to YouTube. Start with that. The more videos that you upload, and you got to be consistent. You can't upload like 1 video a week for a month and then take a month off. Once you start, you can't stop. If you look at my YouTube channel, I've consistently uploaded content for years. And like at the present time of shooting this video, I'm uploading 6 a week. And the videos that are uploaded, they're up. Like this video that I'm shooting today, when you actually see it, it will have been shot weeks before. So I have all this stuff done ahead of time. And in that way, every morning at 6 a.m., the video automatically gets published by YouTube and it goes out. You should be doing the same thing. The more videos you produce, the more relevant YouTube is going to perceive your content. And therefore, the more people they're going to suggest it to. And the more people they suggest it to, guess what? The more subscribers you get. The more subscribers you get, the more people they're going to watch your videos when new videos come out. And the more people watching your videos, the more people are going to be seeing your ads, the more people are going to be clicking on your ads. And the more money you're going to make from that. That's how a business starts. It starts small. Big things have little beginnings. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session with yours truly. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.